to be strong right now. You don't have to fake one more smile. You don't have to carry the pieces alone. I hear you, God hears you. Heaven did not ignore your tears. You kept waking up even when your soul felt too tired to rise. Even when your heart felt like it cracked beneath quiet pressure. You kept carrying hope even when it felt paper thin. Psalm 34:18 says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. If your heart is trembling tonight, He is closer than your breath. You are not walking through this alone. You are worth the love that stays, worth the heart that doesn't stray, worth the truth, not hidden pain, worth the vow that doesn't change. You are seen by God above. You deserve protecting love. You are not forgotten in the night. You are the woman God did not forget.
You said you're fine, but your eyes tell a deeper story. You said you're strong, but your voice almost broke on the way out. You carry storms in silence, so no one else would hurt. But silence doesn't heal, it only teaches you to bleed quietly. You're tired of waiting to be chosen fully, tired of pouring love into hands that couldn't hold it, tired of being the steady one while someone else wavered. You blamed yourself for warnings that God whispered gently into your spirit.
That ache in your stomach wasn't jealousy, it was heaven saying you deserve better than this. You wanted love that defended you, not excuses that cut deeper. You wanted honesty that stayed, not secrets that bruised. And every tear you swallowed in silence, God answered softly, "Gonna." I saw it all, even the tears you buried still reached His hand. You are worth the love that stays, worth the heart that doesn't stray, worth the truth, not hidden pain, worth the vow that doesn't change. You are seen by God above. You deserve protecting love. You are not forgotten in the night. You are the woman God did not forget.
You wore strength like armor, because you didn't feel safe to be soft. You learned to hold the world together, even as your own heart trembled underneath. You played.
Why am I never enough? But hear the truth now, you were always enough. He just wasn't ready for a woman built from fire and faith.
You've carried storms like you were expected to drown with them. You stitch your own wounds while giving others the comfort you needed. You are not weak, you are a warrior with tears in your hands and hope still fighting inside your chest.
You deserve a steady voice, not a wavering promise. You deserve someone who guards your heart, not someone who wounds it and leaves you alone to bandage it. A woman like you should be held with both hands, in love with clarity. You were never the problem, you were the blessing He wasn't prepared to honor. God kept every receipt of your pain. Your worth was never up for debate. It was carved into existence by His breath. Nothing you've lost changed who you are. It only revealed who wasn't meant to stay. Your strength wasn't an accident, it was shaped for this moment.
You were breaking in the dark, but God was writing you a light. You were shaking on the floor, but heaven still with you at night. Psalm 31:7 says He sees your distress, every tear in your hands, every ache in your chest. You thought
pain was a sentence, but God called it a seed. You thought heartbreak was failure, but He called it a need. Mark 10:27 says with God all things stand. That means your healing is still resting in His hands.
You're the woman who rose through the weight of the storm, the woman who walked through the fire and came out reborn. You didn't lose who you are, you uncovered your flame. The strength they tried to break only built your new name.
Lift your head even trembling, you are still His design. You are the daughter He guarded when you thought you were behind. You're not forgotten, not abandoned, not too broken to restore. You are the woman heaven fights for, forever and more. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted.
Isaiah 41:10.
Our God is with you. He will strengthen you. He will hold you. When you couldn't hold yourself, He held you. You are saved. You are loved. The love you are saved. Worth the heart that does. You are loved. Worth the truth, not hidden pain. Worth the vow that doesn't change. You are seen by God above. You deserve protecting love. You are not forgotten in the night. You are the woman God did not forget. You never disappeared. You were never unworthy. You were never too much. You were never unchosen. God did not forget you. Not then, na, na. There are nights you do not talk about, nights where the silence felt heavier than your own body, where your tears soaked the pillow and you prayed so quietly that even you could not hear it. But heaven heard. And tonight I want you to know this: the fire you carry did not come from surviving. It came from being held. She walks through the dark with a tremble in her hands, but the light in her chest says He still has plans. Every scar on her skin is a story God reads. Every tear that she cried is a planted seed.
She does not see it yet, but heaven sees.
The fire she carries
Brings hell to its knees.
I remember the night I could not breathe through the pain, when my room felt colder than the falling rain. I whispered, God, am I breaking or am I blind? Psalm 139:14. You still call me fearfully designed, but my heart felt fractured like it beat in two. My hands were shaking like they did not know what else to do. I fell to the floor and I said your name slow, Mark 9:24.
that I believe help mine unbelief grow.
I thought I was alone with the weight in my chest, till your spirit sat beside me and gave my trembling rest. You whispered to my fear, Isaiah 43:2. When I pass through the waters, the waves will not consume. You turned every whisper why into I am still here. You used every silent prayer to pull me near. You caught my tears like seeds of tomorrow and wrote new strength in the language of sorrow.
Oh, she walks through the dark with a tremble in her hands, but the light in her chest says He still has plans. Every scar on her skin is a story God reads. Every tear that she cried is a planted seed. She does not see it yet, but heaven sleeps.
You think your cries went unnoticed because no one knocked on your door, but heaven counted every prayer you made on that floor. God saw you holding yourself when the world fell apart. Psalm 147:3. He heals the broken heart.
You kept saying maybe I am too much, maybe I am not enough, but God called you chosen before the road got rough. Mark 1, 2, and 3. A voice cried in the wilderness air. The same voice speaks your name every time you fight despair. You think you lost your strength, but daughter, look around. You are still here, still standing, still on holy ground. You survived nights that would have crushed someone else. You carry pain that tried to hollow out
afraid.
I will trust in you.
Psalm 56:3.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?
Psalm 27:1.
He shall cover thee with his feathers,
And under his wings.
shalt thou trust. Psalm 91:4.
Mark 11:24.
When I pray, believing you hear and you move. I walk through the dark with a trembling hand, but the light in her chest says he still has plans. Every scar on my skin is a story you read. Every tear that I cried is a planted seed.
I did not see it then,
I did not see it then.
but now I see.
The fire that I carry was you in me. I walk through the dark, but I am not afraid. I am stronger than the storms that once made me shake. You took all of my breaking and wrote me new. Now the fire I carry will lead others back to you.
If your heart is trembling right now, if your eyes are wet, if something inside you feels like it is breaking open,
Let it. This is not the end of you. This is the moment God begins to rebuild you.
the fire you carry is real.
And heaven is moving for you tonight. I didn't know my heart could survive that kind of breaking. I didn't know my soul could cry that loud in silence. But God heard me even when I thought he didn't. And now the girl who thought she was done is the woman who didn't break. She is still here, still standing in the light, still holding on through every sleepless night. The battle tried to take her, but she didn't break. The fire only shaped her into something faith could make. She is the proof that God heals what fear shakes. She is the woman who didn't break.
Yeah, I remember whispering, God, I don't know who I am. While tears soaked my hands like confessions I never planned. My voice was shaking, the air felt too heavy to breathe. Psalm 34:17 said you hear every cry from me. My chest felt empty, like something sacred tore. I whispered, Jesus, I can't do this anymore. Mark 9:24 said, help my unbelief. And in the silence, you sat beside my grief. You touched the parts of me that no one else could hold. You turned my breaking into a story you'd unfold. Isaiah 43:2 said the waters won't drown me. Even when sorrow curls its hands around me. You caught my tears like fragile glass falling. You turned my collapse into your calling. I thought I was dying inside that night, but you said rise, this is not your final fight.
She is still here, still standing in the light, still holding on through every sleepless night. The battle tried to take her, but she didn't break. The fire only shaped her into something faith could make. She is the proof that God heals what fear shakes. She is the woman who didn't
The one who thought the story ended in the night, but look at you now, standing in the light. Psalm 31:7 says he sees your distress. He collects every tear, every ache in your chest. You thought broken meant done, but broken meant rebuild. You thought shattered meant shame, but God rewrote your guilt. Mark 10:27.
With God everything stands. That's why your future is still in His hands. You're the woman who rose while carrying hurt, the woman who stood up with her face in the dirt. Every scar you carry is a miracle sign, proof that God wrote strength in every line. Lift your head, I know your knees still shake, but you are not the woman who almost broke. You are the woman hell could not take. Ooh.
Yeah.
And no, Isaiah 54:17.
No weapon
will overthrow.
2 Corinthians
12:9. Every prayer finds completeness.
You held me together when I had nothing
I'm
else.
still here, still standing in the light, still holding on through every sleepless night. The battle tried to take her, but she didn't break. The fire only shaped her in something faith could make. She is the proof that God heals what fear shaped.
Yeah.
She's the woman who didn't break.
I didn't break.
You carried me,
You rebuilt the parts
no one else could see. If you survived what should have ended you, it means God is not finished with you. You are more powerful than what tried to undo you. You are the woman who didn't break. I stood in the dark, wondering if anyone could see me. I wondered if my worth was enough, if my scars defined me. But there was a light inside that no darkness could touch tonight. You're about to realize you were never invisible. She walks with light in her bones. Even in the darkest night, she stands alone. Her heart is a flame that no storm can break. She is the promise of love that the world can't shake. The world tried to quiet her, but she still speaks. She walks with light where others stream.
I remember hiding my face, afraid of being seen, wondering if my brokenness was all I'd ever be. But you whispered to my soul, I see you and I know you. Psalm 139:14, you fearfully and wonderfully made me whole. My fears whispered lies, but your truth shouted loud. Mark 5:34 said, daughter, be of good cheer, you've been found. I walked through the silence, afraid to make a sound, but your love called me out from where I was bound. Isaiah 42:6 says you gave me a light, and you promised I'd never walk in darkness even at night. I thought I was lost in the wreckage of my path, but you walked with me through it, and you made me laugh.
She walks with light in her bones. Even in the darkest night, she stands alone. Her heart is a flame that no storm can break. She is the promise of love that the world can't shake. The world tried to quiet her, but she still speaks. She walks with light where others see.
I see you, the one who thought she was invisible in this world, the one who carried the pain like it made her less than a girl. Psalm 31:14 says you my refuge and my shield, even when the weight of this life try to make your love yield.
You're not the sum of the scars they left on your heart. You are the daughter who was born to restart. Mark 10:27, with God all things stand. That's why your destiny's still held in His hand. You thought you'd fade out, but He called you to rise, and now you're walking with light seen through heaven's eyes. You're not just surviving, you're living with flame. Every step you take is rewriting His name. Someone
to him and will radiate.
Isaiah 62:1.
For Zion's sake I will not rest.
She walks with light in her bones. Even in the darkest night she stands alone. Her heart is a flame that no storm can break. She is the promise of love that the world can't shake. The world tried to quiet her, but she still speaks. She walks with light where others see defeat. She's walking with light, nothing can take her down. She's a fire in the dark, the world will hear her sound. If you are standing here today, it's because your light never left. You are the one who didn't quit. You are the one who walks with light in your bones. There were days I forgot I was chosen. Days I forgot I was loved. Days I forgot I had a crown. But God never forgot. And if you're listening to this, He's about to crown you in strength again. Crown her in strength in the middle of the battle. Clothe her in fire when her knees start to rattle. Give her the courage that fear can't take. She is the daughter the darkness couldn't break. Crown her in strength, let the whole world see. She carries the glory of who you called her to be.
I remember feeling small, like the world was too loud, like my heart was too broken to lift from the ground. But Psalm 61:3 said you were my tower. You lifted me up when I had no power. I hid my face from mirrors, afraid of my story, afraid of the cracks where I lost my glory. But Isaiah 62:3 said I'm a crown in your hand, created with purpose, chosen by command. I thought my failures disqualified me from your love, but Romans 8:31 said nothing can rise above. So I let your voice rebuild what shame had undone. You crowned me with mercy when the battle was won.
Crown her in strength in the middle of the battle. Clothe her in fire when her knees start to rattle. Give her the courage that fear can't take. She is the daughter the darkness couldn't break. Crown her in strength, let the whole world see. She carries the glory of who you called her.
You forgot your worth, but heaven never did. You're the daughter who rose when everything hid. Psalm 27:1 says the Lord is your light. That's why you're still standing after every night. You thought your crown fell off in the storm, but God kept it safe while He kept your heart warm. Mark 11:23 says mountains move when you speak. That's why your spirit survived when your flesh felt weak. You are royalty.
Not by what you've done, but by the blood and the name of the Holy One. Lift your head, let your heart awake. You are the daughter darkness couldn't break.
Isaiah 61:3.
Beauty for ashes, 2 Timothy 1 says.
No spirit that crashes.
Psalm 91.
In your shadow I lay.
Shadow I stay. And Mark 11:24. You hear when I pray.
And you still call me worthy.
Crown her in strength in the middle of the battle. Clothe her in fire. Good knees start to rattle. See, take glory. You crown me in strength. You remind me I'm yours.
You crown me in strength.
You remind me I'm yours.
If you're listening right now, your crown was never lost. God kept it waiting for the moment you remembered who you were. You're his daughter, and you were crowned in strength. There was a time I whispered because I didn't believe my voice mattered. A time I stayed quiet to keep the peace. A time I hid the fire God placed inside me. But fear doesn't get to silence me anymore. There's fire in my voice, and it was God who lit it. There is fire in her voice when she calls your name. There is healing in her words when she speaks through the flame. She is stronger than the silence that once stole her choice. Now the heavens shake when they hear her voice. Let her speak, let her rise, let her stand unafraid. There is fire in her voice, a holy flame God made.
I used to hide my truth behind a quiet smile, afraid my brokenness would make me less worthwhile. But Psalm 40:19 said you heard my cry. You lifted my voice when I was too weak to try. I carried shame like a weight I couldn't lift, but your word entered soft and began to shift. Mark 9:29 said prayer's my fight, and you taught me my whisper still reaches your light. You turned my silence into something bold, a story of fire the darkness couldn't hold. Isaiah 51:16 said you put your words in me, so I speak with the flame you intended me to be.
There is fire in her voice when she calls your name. There is healing in her words when she speaks through the flame. She is stronger than the silence that once stole her choice. Now the heavens shake when they hear her voice. Let her speak, let her rise, let her stand unafraid. There is fire in her voice, a holy flame God made.
Yeah, the one who was told to stay quiet, the one who survived storms but never started a riot. Psalm 27:7 says he hears when you speak, even when your voice trembles, even when you feel weak. You think your voice is small, but heaven hears it loud. You shake the atmosphere when you pray out loud. Mark 11:23 says mountains obey. That's why your whisper can still make hell break away. You've got fire inside, not meant to be contained. You've got words that heal, divinely ordained. Lift your chin.
This world needs your sound. The fire in your voice is holy ground. Jeremiah 29:12.
You hear when I pray,
Psalm 141:2.
my voice rises like incense today.
You answer when I call.
You answer when I call,
Your name conquers all.
so I will speak again.
There is fire in hers when she calls your name. There is healing in her words when she speaks through the flame. She is stronger than the silence that once stole her choice. Now the heavens shake when they hear her voice. Let her speak, let her rise,
not afraid.
Your voice is not small. It is not invisible. It is not forgotten. God placed fire in your voice, and the world needs to hear it. I didn't feel like light. I didn't feel like hope. I felt like a flicker, barely holding on. But God doesn't need a flame to be strong. He just needs a spark. And He whispered to my soul, let her be light in the places she cried. Let her be hope where sorrow tried to hide. Let her be flame where fear once stole her sight. Let her be love, let her be light. Let her be the whisper that breaks the night. Let her be steady where her heart lost the fight. The world tried to dim her, but you made her bright. Let her be love, let her be light.
I remember praying small, like my voice didn't matter, like my heart was too heavy and my hope grew tattered. But Psalm 27:1 said you're my salvation and light, and you stepped in softly and held me through the night. I felt like a candle running out of flame, but Isaiah 61:1 said you called me by name. So I lifted my eyes when I didn't have strength. Mark 5:34 carried me through the length.
You breathed on the ember I thought had died, and whispered, daughter, I'm still at your side. You turned my trembling into gentle fire, a quiet glow that keeps burning. Let her be light in the places she cried. Let her be hope where sorrow tried to hide. Let her be flame where fear once stole her sight. Let her be love, let her be light. Let her be the whisper that breaks the night. Let her be steady where her heart lost the fight. The world tried to dim her, but you made her bright. Let her be love, let her be light.
Yeah, you thought your spark was fading out slow, but God don't need a wildfire to make your spirit glow. Psalm 118:27 says He gives light to your way. That's why your hope still rises even on your hardest day. Yeah, you kept saying I'm tired, I can't carry this fight. But Matthew 5:14 said you're the world's light. You don't have to shine loud, you just have to shine true. And God will take the flicker, make a fire out of you.
Fear tried to dim you, shame tried to bind, but God called you radiant in His design. Lift your head even if your heart feels tight. You're the daughter He chose to carry His light.
Psalm 27,
You're my light and salvation.
Isaiah 61,
You heal every devastation.
John
The
1:5,
darkness cannot understand.
Mark 11:24.
You hold me in your hand. You make me light again. Let her be light in the places she cried. Let her be hope where sorrow tried to hide. Let her be flame where fear once stole her sight. Let her be love, let her be light. Let her be the whisper that breaks the night. Let her be steady where her heart lost the fight. The world tried to dim her, but you made her bright. Let her be love, let her be light. You made me light again. You made me bright again. You made me bright again. You're not fading. You're not failing. You're not forgotten. God is making you light again. And darkness can't stop it. There are nights nights I cried so quietly that even I couldn't hear myself. Nights where the only thing I could give God was my tears, but He counted everyone, He held everyone, and somewhere in the silence
turned into prayers.
her tears turned into prayers when she couldn't speak. Her cries became the strength she'd need next week. He heard every whisper in her darkest fears. He turned her heartbreak into holy tears. Her tears turned into prayers, and heaven knew every drop she cried was a doorway God walked through.
I remember holding myself so tight I could barely breathe, saying, God, why does this sorrow never leave? But Psalm 56:8 said, you keep my tears in your book. Heavy shaking breath, heavy pleading look. I didn't know if you were near or far, but Jeremiah 29:13 said, you know where my heart is scarred. I felt forgotten by the people who once held my hand, but Isaiah 41:10 said, you helped me stand. I cried until my chest burned and my voice was gone, but you turned my weakness into a secret dawn. You met me in the silence where I felt unseen, and whispered, daughter, I know exactly where you've been.
Her tears turned into prayers when she couldn't speak. Her cries became the strength she'd need next week. He heard every whisper in her darkest fears. He turned her heartbreak into holy tears. Her tears turned into prayers, and heaven knew every drop she cried was a doorway God walked through.
Yeah. The one who cried alone in your room, thinking sorrow was a sentence instead of something God could bloom. Psalm 34:17 says He hears the righteous cry. That's why He held you close every time you asked why. You thought your tears were wasted, like they fell unseen, but heaven caught every tear before it hit your skin. Mark 11:24 says He answers when you pray. That means your tears spoke faith on the days you couldn't pray. You're not weak, you're not broken in the way you think. You're stronger than the silence that pulled you to the brink. Lift your chin, you survived nights that should have crushed your breath. Your tears didn't drown you, they carried you back to Him instead.
Psalm 126:5, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Revelation 21:4,
You wipe tears no pain can destroy.
you are close when my heart breaks.
Faith still finds what prayer makes.
You heard me even when I couldn't speak. Her tears turned into prayers when she couldn't speak. Her cries became the strength she'd need next week. He heard every whisper in her darkest fears. He turned her heartbreak into holy tears. Her tears turned into prayers, and heaven knew every drop she cried was a doorway God walked through. You heard me.
He held me.
My tears spoke when I had no words.
Your tears were never wasted, not one.
He turned them into prayers, and those prayers moved His heart. I shouldn't be alive in spirit after everything I went through. I shouldn't be this strong after what tried to break me, but God held me together. And now the story meant to end me became the reason I rise. She survived what tried to end her. You carried her through. She rose from the fire with a strength she never knew. The storm hit hard, but she didn't fall. Your love held her steady through it all. She survived what tried to end her. And now they'll see she's walking in the strength you made her to be.
I remember shaking on the floor from the weight I held, feeling like every part of my heart had failed. But Psalm 46:1 said, you're my refuge and might. You stepped into my shadows and turned them into light. I thought the pain would claim me, that I'd drown in my fear. But Isaiah 43:2 said you'd be with me here. I walked through the valley with tears in my hands, but Psalm 23:4 said you'd help me stand. I lost myself in battles I never asked to fight, but you rebuilt me quietly, piece by piece every night. You made my ashes into something brave. Ooh, you made my sorrow part of how you say.
She survived what tried to end her. You carried her through. She rose from the fire with a strength she never knew. The storm hit hard, but she didn't fall. Your love held her steady through it all. She survived what tried to end her. And now they'll see she's walking in the strength you
didn't think you'd make it, but look at you now, standing in the ruins with victory somehow. Psalm 34:19 says the Lord delivers you through every storm that rose up like it wanted to undo. They left you wounded, but God didn't let you bleed alone. He walked you through the fire, He carried every storm. Mark 10:27. With God nothing's impossible. That's why your survival is more than just logical. You're the woman they'll try to break in the dark, but God stood beside you and reignited your spark. Lift your head, this is your proof right here. You survived what should have buried you in fear.
You lift me when I fear.
You lift me when I fall.
I through it all.
I rise through it all.
Isaiah 54:17.
No weapon can stay.
And Mark 11:24.
You hear when I pray.
I survived because you stayed. She survived what tried to end her. You carried her through. She rose from the fire with a strength she never knew. The storm hit hard, but she didn't fall. Your love held her steady through it all. She survived what tried to end her. Now they'll see she's walking in the strength you made her to be. I survived because you stayed. I survived because you stayed.
You didn't make it through because you were strong.
You made it through because God refused to let the storm have you.
You survived what tried to end you.
And now you're rising. I spent so long believing I was too broken to be loved, too scarred, too complicated. But God never agreed with the names I called myself. He only had one name for me: loved. God calls her loved when she feels alone. He calls her chosen when her strength is gone. He whispers daughter when she breaks inside. He holds her heart when she tries to hide. No matter the pain, no matter the past, she's sure she is his. God calls her loved.
I told myself I wasn't worth the space I used, that my heart was too damaged and too bruised. But Psalm 139:14 said you made me whole. You rolled love into the bones of my soul. I believe the lies that said I was too much, too fragile to hold, too broken to touch. But Romans 8:38 said nothing can sever your love from me, not now, not ever. I tried to hide my pain behind quiet eyes, but you saw through every part I disguised. Isaiah 43:1 said, fear not, I redeemed your name and called you mine long before the shame.
God calls her loved when she feels alone. He calls her chosen when her strength is gone. He whispers daughter when she breaks inside. He holds her heart when she tries to hide. No matter the pain, no matter the past, she's shoved. She is his, God calls her love.
Yeah, you keep thinking you failed, like you ran out of worth, but God loved you fierce from the moment of birth. Psalm 103:13 says he's tender and kind, a father who sees the storms in your mind. You think your scars disqualify your grace, but God calls you beautiful, even when tears stain your face. Mark 10:14 says, let the children come. That means your heart is still welcomed by the Holy One. You're not forgotten, you're held by his hand. Not a single mistake can alter his plan. Lift your chin, hear the truth from above. You're the daughter he covers with endless love.
Jeremiah 31:3, you love me with everlasting love. Romans 8:39, nothing separates me from above.
Psalm 118:6,
you are with me in every fear.
you always here.
You always hear. You call me loved, even at my lowest. God calls her loved when she feels alone. He calls her chosen when her strength is gone. He whispers daughter when she breaks inside. He holds her heart when she tries to hide. No matter the pain, no matter the past, she's shoved. She is his, God calls her love.
You call me love.
You call me yours.
Let's breastfeed
You are not unloved,
You are not.
you are not forgotten,
You are not.
you are not too broken. God calls you love, and he always will.
You always will.
There are sounds heaven never ignores. A whisper, a tremble, a breath caught between pain and hope. Psalm 34:17. The righteous cry and the Lord hears. So if she cries tonight, heaven listens.
She hides her face inside her hands, trying not to let the world see the ache she carries. She whispers prayers she's too tired to finish. She wipes her tears before they fall, so no one knows she's hurting. But her silence is heard like thunder in the presence of God. Every sigh is a sentence, every tear is a story, every shaking breath is a prayer he refuses to ignore.
Psalm 56:8.
He keeps her tears, not one
remembers the night she almost gave up, the battle she fought when no one watching, the words she didn't say because she felt unworthy. He saw the moment of faith flickered, not failing, only tired and kneeling closer. He wrapped himself around her wounds. He wrote her name on his hands again. He said, "You are mine, I will never leave you. Even in the shadows you cannot see." I seen her standing in the hallway, crying quiet in the dawn, trying hard to keep her breathing steady while the world moves on. And every tear that hit the floor was like a prayer without a name, but heaven heard it like a trumpet calling fire through her pain. She said, "God, I'm breaking. Do you see me when I fall?" And he whispered back in silence, "I've been here through it all." Every storm that tried to drown her, every night she felt alone, every battle she survived while carrying wounds nobody knows.
And I watch him step beside her,
Father in the night,
wrap his glory around her shoulder.
fear turned into light.
So he's crying on the floor now. Don't you call that weakness deep? Those are seeds God waters gently, that will bloom when angels speak.
Exodus 3:7.
I have seen
Your affliction
and heard your cry.
You are not unseen.
She sees time much away. She sees time now. Psalm 56:8.
You keep my tears,
Everyone, when he hears her cry, he comes running, he steps into the fire by her side. When he hears her cry, he lifts her head, he takes her fear, he breathes new life into her eyes. She's his daughter, his beloved, his heartbeat in the dark. When he hears her cry, he fights for, he calms the storm she thought would drown her. When he hears her cry, he breaks the chains no one else could see. He turns her weakness into holy flame. He turns her pain to glory. He turns her cry into a testimony. She's not forgotten, she is not forsaken. She is held, she is known, she is known. When he hears her cry,
God never ignores a tear, never overlooks a whisper, never forgets a heart that trusts him in the dark. When she cries, he hears. And when he hears, everything changes.
Hey, take a breath. You've been strong for everyone else. Now let someone speak strength over you. This is for the woman who prays when no one's listening, who loves when love isn't returned, who still lifts her hands while her heart shakes.
God saw it. Isaiah 49:16.
I have engraved you upon
I have engraved you on the palms of my hand.
You were never invisible.
Ever, never invisible. Every prayer you whispered still glows on his skin. When you pray,
Heaven leans closer,
when you cry,
his arms unfold.
when you whisper,
He writes your story,
when you tremble,
he takes control.
there's power in your quiet
truth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just breathing through the ache. Mary stayed at the cross, that was strength.
Hannah cried in the temple, that was strength. You praying through heartbreak. Psalm 34:18, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. So when you say help me, He's already near. Every tear you've hidden built an altar of light. When you pray,
heaven leans closer.
when you cry,
His arms unfold.
when you whisper,
He writes your story.
when you tremble,
He takes control.
Isaiah 41:10,
fear not, I'm with you, that's your armor in the night.
Philippians 4:13.
You can do all things through Christ.
That's your breath when faith feels thin.
Psalm 46:5.
God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. So stand even shaking,
Deuteronomy 31:8.
He will not fail thee. He's been catching every moment you thought was wasted.
Proverbs 31:25.
Strength and honor are her clothing. You've been wearing royalty disguised as survival.
Every prayer through pain was a seed in God's hand.
You are what faith looks like when it refuses to die.
When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Isaiah 43:2. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians 12:9.
Be still and know that I am God.
Psalm 46:10.
I am the lifter of your head.
Psalm 3:3.
Lifted, daughter, you still belong to me.
When you pray,
When you cry,
His arms unfold.
when you whisper,
He writes your story.
when you tremble,
He takes control.
there's power in your quiet, fire in your soul. When you pray, He calls you home.
You thought silence meant I left you, but silence is where I shape voices that change nations. Waiting is where I build warriors. Every tear watered tomorrow's miracle. You don't have to roar to be powerful. Your whisper already shakes the dark. You're not broken, you're becoming, not forgotten, favored, not fragile flame. Each amen you speak turns the enemy silent. Your faith rewrites family stories yet to be told.
When you pray,
Heaven leans closer.
when you cry,
His arms unfold.
when you whisper,
He writes your story.
when you tremble,
He takes control.
there's power in your quiet, fire in your soul. When you pray, He calls you home.
You are not too late for what He promised. Every delay was divine. Every silence was a sentence He was writing into your story. Psalm 18:2. The Lord is my rock and my fortress, so stand on Him, even with trembling legs. You don't hold God up, He's holding you. The same power that raised Jesus lives in you now. When you pray, the grave remembers it can't keep you. Your whisper is resurrection in disguise.
When you pray, heaven lean, in your rain, in your rain. When you pray,
For every daughter listening tonight, let her feel your hand where fear used to live. Remind her that tears are not weakness but worship, that broken means being rebuilt by you. Let her heart hear you say, you're still mine. And when she prays again, let the whole sky listen.
when you pray,
Because when she prays,